Yeah.
And one thing, like, you didn't prepare yourself to move to Brazil. Like, was you like it, and suddenly, I'll be here. But
Was on pandemic when you came, right?
Yeah. It was like
21, that's
late
crazy.
late 2020. Like
late
I thought they
2020.
closed off. Brazil didn't close off.
no,
The
they were
borders.
open. They were open to tourists.
But I think they closed everything in January 2022, if I'm not wrong.
Really? That
No,
seems like
no,
the-
2021. 2021.
But you came in 2020.
Yeah, I came in 2021. I was here.
At the beginning.
Yeah, I was because my birthday is in February, on February 1st. So I was here from like the middle of January.
Mm.
So I was supposed to come end of
never
December.
closed.
Yeah, no, never closed.
That's
But
what it
like
was.
I worked at the airport
You
at
did.
at this time, and I remember my company it used to have like over 150 flights a day, and from one day to another, 13 flights a day.
Okay, so they limited the flights, but they didn't close the border.
No, didn't close. They didn't close.
Bolsonaro wasn't playing that. He's like,
Yeah,
I don't care
horrible.
about death. I just want.
Didn't manage well, eh?
Yeah, horrible. And in January 2021, like we cut down more flights because in August we had 100 flights again. August 2020, but in January 2021 we cut down some because of the pandemic again.
When did you came here?
Man, I've been here for a long time, and it was 2016, June,
2016.
the end of June, June 30th, 2016.
But all right, but like you planned your trip to come and to stay.
It was based
Right.
on how me and my wife were going to get along. I met my wife on Facebook, and we had a plan to do music together and be in a relationship, but only if we clicked as well as we did online in person. A lot of people don't click that well in person like that. It's an online thing.
So
It's a fad.
all right. Did you guys met on Facebook?
We met on Facebook.
Yeah, and you talked for how many months before you guys met each other in person?
About 8 months.
Wow.
8 months.
After 1 month, I asked her to be my girlfriend. It was very
yeah.
It was very childish. I just said, "Hey, do you want to be my girlfriend?" Why? Because I knew that I was eventually going to move there, and so the idea was she was part of a house in a arts collective with music. There were 6 women. One of the women that were in that house, she had a thing for me. She was another rapper. I liked her music. Physically, she wasn't that, just wasn't that interested. You know what I mean? But
got
I
it.
liked her music. I think she's a very talented person. And so my wife was like the manager of the house. They were doing the projects, the fomento projects like FITech and stuff like that. So they were getting a lot of money from the government to run that house and have activities. And it was a real big house in Capão Redondo. And so it was like the idea of the place was for artists that want to be a part of the scene in the south side of Sao Paulo, they could stay there. And so this girl was like, "Why don't you come?" This is my wife's friend at the time.
Yeah.
Why don't you come here, move in with us, and we can make music all night? It was kind of sexually explicit with the we can make music all night kind of thing. And I'm like, not that interested. And it's like I'd be the only man in the house.
Yeah.
That's weird. You know what I mean? I didn't want that. But she was like, "Nah, you're gonna do it." She kept forcing me. She kept like, "Yo, I really want you here so we can make music." And she sent me a photo. She's like, "Talk to these girls. These are the girls that are in charge." And I was like, "All right, let me look at it." And I saw one of them was my wife. And I saw the picture and I'm like, "Oh, well maybe I might think about it."
yeah.
Very interesting, eh?
Yeah, so I started talking to her, and she didn't have any kids. She wasn't married, and she had just moved back.
But how didn't at this time she didn't speak English?
No, she didn't speak English.
And how?
I was learning. I was teaching myself Portuguese. It was just very basic. It was just like enough to get by, but it was enough for us to communicate. Because she had just moved back from Italy. She was living in Italy for 10 years.
For 10 years?
Yeah.
Oh.
From 2004 to 2014, my wife lived in Italy. She just moved back at the end of 2014. I met her in 2015. She literally is just getting back when she started, they started the house because she still had money from euros when she was living in Italy. She had a lot of money saved, so they got the house. Then they started getting the government grants and money because they were already doing a lot of nice things. I hope I'm not talking too fast for you guys.
Nah, that's so good.
I'm just being normal me and speaking the way I normally speak, but sometimes I have to remember we gotta speak slower than we normally do.
That's so good.
No, it's okay.
It's
Do you think we should introduce to the audience something?
No, this time audience has to
make a effort.
Yeah.
All right.
So
All
you
right.
heard it. I was thinking about you.
Yeah, because actually most
thinking.
most of the podcasts we speak in Portuguese. Mainly like with our students, we speak part of the podcast in English and part of it in Portuguese. Not all in English. So let's do it.
Let's
Yeah,
do
we're
it.
doing it
The
all
best
in.
way for them to learn is to learn the
Yeah.
natural
That
speed.
Immersion.
Yeah.
100% immersion. So we like when I did meet her, I talked to her and then I had to explain to that girl that I'm not interested in you. She ended up leaving, and then when I came here, it was just me and my wife. But I knew I was coming, so I felt like if we're gonna live in the same house, you're single now. I gotta save money for at least 6 months before I come.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're still gonna be single in 6 months. So I was like, I'm coming in 6 months. Let's just make it official. What do you think? And I don't think I've ever asked a girl that before. I don't think I was like, hey, do you want to go steady? I've never done that. Like, I just was like, yo, we be talking every day. It's what it is. Like, we don't have to say things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, in that situation, I asked her. I had to make it clear because I'll be devastated. Like, at that point, getting to know her was like, every day I would go to work. I'll talk to her a little bit, practice Portuguese. I had a mission, you know? And so when I came out here, we were living in that house. We had a very small room, which is, I think it's a wonderful thing. You meet somebody online, and if you really like them, live in a little small room with that person for 6 months, like real small, like smaller than this room right here. And we lived, and most of it was the bed, but you get to experience all the odors. And you know what I mean?
Everything, all the unpleasant things,
all
and all the lovely things.
In the meantime, you're trying to learn Portuguese and she's trying to learn English, right?
Not really. I mean, she's learning English now. We speak in English now, but I will tell you, when you date somebody internationally, which you're in this situation, you're married now, right?
Married.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Oh,
Hey.
congrats. Good going.
Yeah, he got married, what is it, April?
Well
April,
done.
April. He got married in April, so congratulations.
Brazilian.
Brazilian, yeah, Baiana.
But I guarantee you, y'all speak only in English together, right?
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things where she's trying to improve her English for like just professional reasons. And then we just fell in the habit of speaking English.
That's what happens.
And now it's like I'm trying to improve my Portuguese.
But
And
you're in that habit.
yeah, it's just so hard to get her to speak Portuguese sometimes. I'm like, this is your first language. Why don't you speak with me?